Hey y'all, welcome to I Died NDE. We just finished hearing the story about the Haint. So I guess we should give people a couple minutes to come in. Some people had to restart the story. So how's everyone tonight? What's the weather like where you are? Hey Mike, hey Suzanne. Thank you so much for moderating. Yeah, I gotta check and see what the weather's like tonight. It's going down to 40. It's 46 out there now. And it's going to be in the 50s the rest of the week, it looks like, well, until the 9th. Oh, 39 on Sunday the 10th. So temperatures are ratcheting up. It's a little early in the year for that. We got our first festival on Saturday, Marketplace Festival. Wow, teens. I hope we don't have any more teens this year. So, 65 Monday, blizzard Tuesday, 7 yesterday, 55 today. Yeah, that's global warming. It's extreme swings in temperature and weather. So y'all see the backdrop for us tonight? It's a old Southern Victorian style home. It looks like. Do you remember in the story when I was talking about what the Gullah Geechee tell us to do to keep the Haints out of the house? Mike, did you hear enough of the story to hear that? Anyway, the Gullah Geechee tell us if we want to keep the Haints out, we paint the uh, the ceiling to the porch or the entranceway of the house. You paint it that sky blue color. And supposedly they see that and
It's a big bag of pinto beans.
they think it's the sky and they fly up into the sky instead of coming into the house to torment you. And some of the Gullah Geechee paint the shutters next to their windows. They paint those blue too. Um, but as I said in the story, the Haints are usually spirits that are out to get you. They play tricks on you and scare you and chase you down. And they're like the poltergeist. You remember the movie Poltergeist? They tried to trick you into coming to the wrong side. So ghosts are dumb. The Gullah Geechee would have you think so. Dumb and evil. So what do you think? Do you think my mother spirit was the one that bruised my hip? Well, don't forget that the Gullah Geechee originated in West Africa, and the religions that were in West Africa about the time that the slave trade started up were Christianity, Islam, and the traditionalists. I think the European term for it was animists, who believed in the spirits and the rocks, and they're a lot like the pagan religions of Europe. Spirits in the trees, the rocks, everything had a spirit. In order for the gods to hear your prayers, you'd pray over an animal, sacrifice it, and it would carry your prayer to whoever it was supposed to go to. So I'm not discrediting any beliefs, but the animists today, like you have the Santeria and the voodoo faith that came out of Haiti, which was a combination of the traditionalist religions of West Africa that came over with the slaves, who were then forced to convert to Catholicism. And they would have Catholic saints on the wall that actually symbolized the animist saints, and they would, when they were praying to the Catholic saints, they were actually worshiping their traditional worship. That's where you get the voodoo. Oh, paint a fake tunnel in a rock. You mean so the ghost could go that way? That's an idea, I guess. So after that story, Mike, what do you think? Who was that bruised me? It was very real. I had a very real bruise on my hip. Well, had you been in my house, I would have shown you my hip. Hi, Judy. Did you catch the story? Welcome, welcome, Judy. Nina. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and share me out if you don't mind. No, not like this, Mike. It was a definitely handprint with the fingers and the thumb. Not a way you can turn your own hand on your hip. And where would my mind even get that? I still haven't taken Mom's ashes anywhere, by the way. She's in a box in the garage. Isn't that awful? And that was 2005. So don't everybody talk at once. Anybody want to come up on the panel and talk about maybe similar experiences you've had? I'll let me copy the link. Who would like to come up? Here's your link to click. Yeah, Suzanne, she wanted to be buried on our property, that wherever we retired, under a tree. And I kind of jokingly asked her, do you want to be a fruit or a nut? Because we only plant things that are edible or useful, right? We wouldn't put you in a dumpster, Mike. You're too precious. So I don't know. If we end up dying before we dispose of Mom, I could just picture the people doing the estate. It's a box with Susan written on it. That's Susan in the box. Is that awful or what? Oh. No graveyard for you, Suzanne. Me either. I'd like, if I go first, I want Charlie to keep me on a shelf somewhere, and when he goes, I want our ashes commingled and distributed together so we can haunt each other, I guess. Charlie says under a tree.
Fruit trees.
Fruit trees. You want to be a fruit?
I want to feed the animals.
You want to feed the animals. Okay. Did I print that link? That's a link if someone wants to come up and be on the panel. So I don't know. What do you think, Suzanne? What was that experience I had? Was it a haint? Mike, grab me a cup too, will you? I got water. So, did everyone have plans tonight, or this just didn't excite people? What's a haint? Did y'all see The Color Purple with Oprah Winfrey? I think they talked about haints in that film. Well, it's kind of weird, Mike. She was my mom, and I don't know. I really do need to go put her somewhere. Yeah, we both saw it, Suzanne. And Mike, I didn't get along with her. She kind of blamed me for being born. I heard my whole life, I never wanted to be a mother. I never wanted to be a mother. I didn't want you. But she was stuck with me, and then Dad died when I was like 5, and she never remarried. So we were kind of stuck with each other, and when she got too sick to care for herself, she didn't have a choice. She had to come to us, and she was so upset about having to come live with her daughter who married that Southern boy. And she was a Boston aristocracy. And she had to go live where we grew our own food, God forbid. It was too much for her. And she used to say, I'll come live with you over my dead body. And she dropped dead in my arms on the morning I was picking her up from the wound care facility. But she got her wish. But it would be in her nature to come back and bruise my hip. Maybe she's trying to jar me into going and putting her ashes somewhere. What do you think, Suzanne? Everyone's speechless. What do you think, Judy? Judy, leave? No, you're here. Come on, Nina. What do you think? Maybe they're off listening to the story. So let's see. Are there any movies out there about haints? Oh. There's a movie out there called The Haint, 2001, Southern Gothic ghost story. Troy Mink played 13 different characters. There's a list of 44 films in Letterbox of The House of Ghosts, The Queen of Spades, Beetlejuice was a haint. So the movie The Haint looks interesting. I'm going to print that link for you. Yeah, that's true, Mike. Just because people procreate doesn't mean anything obviously or should treat you better. None of my family good people, so I don't believe family means love. I love those who deserve that love. I get you. Yeah, I spent my lifetime trying to get my mother's approval. And as I tell you my stories, my experiences with the paranormal, I have several to share. And I don't have a whole lot of them to share. And this is why I'm spreading this out over once a month and hoping to eventually get people interested in coming up on the panel and telling their own stories and maybe do some interviews. But, this is a very young channel, and we're still trying to figure it out how to make it interesting and stimulate conversation. Castings of people. Did anyone else see the castings of people who died in Pompeii? Absolute proof they'll never respect the resting place of the dead, so better be scattered and return to the earth. Yeah, those castings make me believe, in the positions they had them in, that they had succumbed to probably the toxic fumes of the volcano and were already dead when the lava flowed over them. But those are kind of creepy, yeah. I don't know if I'd want to be a statue, Mike. Dogs lift their legs on statues, don't they? Oh, who's talking to me on my cell phone? Yeah, that was kind of strange. So are there any questions y'all like to ask me about what's going on, or want me to look up some more facts about Haints? Yeah, I remember the bones being in the castings. According to Google, Southerners believe that Haints are angry spirits. and that they can't cross water. So build a moat around your house, huh? Paint your porch ceiling blue. Put blue shutters up. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming in tonight. What happens after graves are disturbed? I can research that, Suzanne. That's a good idea. I'll be approaching other paranormal people too to see if we can have some discussions on what they're debunking or what they're finding. I mentioned during this story my friend who was the ghost hunter. She was kind of famous for a little while. She was a Southern girl, grew up in Lower Georgia, northern Florida. Had an interesting life. She converted to Islam and married, and I think he was an Afghan diplomat who was an ambassador to several countries. So she traveled around the world with him as his wife to several countries. Had a son and ended up leaving that husband and coming back to the United States. And she settled in the Carolinas, where she that was during remember the show, was it called Ghost Hunters? Did I see your opossum? No, I didn't get the notification. I get the notifications about the squirrels. So Suzanne didn't get your notification either. I wonder what went wrong. I get your notifications for your squirrel shorts. That didn't come out right. Mike has squirrels in his shorts. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so she came back and what was that show? Ghost Hunters. Yeah, the Ghost Hunters. She was the part of their team out of the Carolinas. And I put her in touch with a friend of mine who is at National Public Radio, NPR in Washington, and he actually got her interviewed on the air about the phenomenon of ghost hunting and paranormal. And her popularity kind of blossomed. She was on several shows about it, talking about how the belief in ghosts is a part of Islam and it's a part of Christianity. You know, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. So it's kind of interesting. People who deny that ghosts exist consider themselves Christians. You know, how do you reconcile that? So she saw ghost hunting as a natural curiosity, and took us through like the Biltmore Estates and some of the haunted places in the Carolinas. She's a very interesting person. If I haven't spoken to her in years, maybe if I can get her to come up and talk about it here. But she did tell me when I told her about my experience with the form sitting on the bed, she says, don't mess with that. Don't even encourage it. Because that wasn't good. That spirit was up to no good. You don't have a tree rat in your shorts, Mike? Anyone watching this after we close down for the night is going to say, what the heck are they talking about? Tree rats and opossums. If you're a member of this channel or watching this to try to hear about a good paranormal story, I also have a sister channel. It's called Our Georgia Suburban Homestead, and it's about gardening and crafts and cooking, and Mike's into gardening. Obviously, you've seen his name. He's got a channel, and so we got kind of a crossover conversations here. Oh, yeah. So I guess I'm going to call it a night. I want to thank my loyal companions for popping in, Suzanne for moderating, and thank you very much. You always do a great job, and Mike's always got my back. And I'll go watch the opossum short now, Mike. And the only reason I didn't do it earlier when I saw you over at Joe's live broadcast tonight is because I had this coming up. But thank you for popping by, and I guess we'll see you next month here. We'll come up with a story idea, and as I say, I've got a whole list of my biggest story, my near-death experience. I'll save that for later on once we've got a bigger following, because it's really a doozy. So until next month, it'll be the last Thursday in March, which looks like the 28th of March. We'll do another premiere and a live broadcast afterwards to talk about it. If I can get someone with an interview, I might do it during the month, but I've got 2 other live broadcasts from my other channel, the first and third Thursday. So stay tuned, and I hope to see you next month. What's the local I say? Yeah, Joe's live was on peppers. I was excited. You know, Mike and I both are pepperheads. But he sounds as bad as I am with all his peppers, Mike. Anyhow, thanks for stopping by. If you missed us, go over to the premiere and watch the story, and you can come in here or type comments in either place. I'll see them. And maybe next month I'll read your comments, or as an idea, I can do a pop-up video answering your questions and your comments in between, if that'll help you follow us a little bit better. But anyway, thank you again, and you all have a good night, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Bye, guys.